from Shrek.
Fiona.
Should we take it? Should we monetize my acne? Should we monetize my pain? Wait, I'm serious. Like how I cover up my acne. Okay. Hi guys, today's video is gonna be literally all about me, myself, and I. That's literally it. So no, like today's video is gonna be me just catching up, spilling my guts with all these questions that you guys have asked on my Instagram stories, and while I do my makeup, and I was gonna do my hair as well, and kind of just do the whole shebang. So thought we'd get ready together, and I do have acne. Like, secrets out. No, it's literally, I'm gonna just give this quick preface before I start on my makeup, but I literally just finished my nail schooling a week ago, so I'm completely done with school, like public education. I am out of there. Losers, deuces. Just kidding, you're not a loser if you're in public education. It's not for me. But I finished and I graduated early. I graduate on the 25th of May, like that's when I received my diploma, but I finished up all of my credits early, so like about 2-ish months early. But I feel like I was under so much stress the last few weeks of finishing school because I was just trying to finish up all of my hours for nail schooling as fast as I could. And so I was literally at school from 7:30 in the morning till 9 p.m. at night, and I had a 2-hour break, but like I was at school all day and I was wearing a mask the entire day, and so it was just so hot and stuffy, and it created stress and acne, and now I'm dealing with the after effects of it. Acne is literally such a natural part of life. It's not like it's natural and beautiful. No, it is. It's literally just, it's my skin, it's my body, and the stress kind of manifests in different ways, and this happens to be one of them. I was gonna show you guys my makeup routine with how I cover it up and how I deal with it. And so I'm starting off, I usually use my Curology moisturizer, and I love this little bad boy because it's like really lightweight, and so it's just great before my makeup. But I got a PR package from Pharmacy, and they have some really nice skincare products, so I've just been trying out their moisturizer, which is their Honey Halo. But I'm gonna start off with that. Moisturizing is so important, especially for me living in Utah. It is the Sahara Desert. So for my actual skin, I've been using foundation, which I normally don't feel like I use, but lately I have been liking it because it just evens out my coverage. But I'm mixing the two. These are really fancy. This is the Gucci foundation. I did not buy this. I got it sent to me for free, which is even literally crazy. But this is the Gucci foundation. I have been liking it. It's pretty natural, and it's literally, I think it's called the Natural Finish Fluid Foundation. This is actually my sister's, and I stole it from her because I liked it, because I used it one day. And it's the MAC Studio SPF 30 foundation, water weight foundation. What was my biggest challenge I faced in 2020? Oh, I can't pinpoint just one challenge. I lost a lot of friends in 2020. This is gonna sound really harsh. Like, I hope those friends aren't, I hope they're not watching this video, but it wasn't a challenge for me because like I'm so grateful that I have the friends in my life now that I do. Like, I've moved on from that scene in my life, and I've grown apart from those friends, and I don't look at it as a bad thing at all. Like, I don't look back and cringe and be like, ooh. My biggest trial in 2020 was probably learning how to handle change and growth, and how to like just continue moving on with life. And I'm so grateful for that trial though, and I'm so grateful, and it's also a continuing trial. Like, that's something you're probably always going to struggle with in life, is just learning how to accept the new, because the only consistent thing in life is change. So my parents always say that to me, and I'm like, I would hate it when they say it. I'd be like, but like, it makes sense. So sorry, I'm talking a lot, but I'm going to now take my Bare Minerals concealer. This is in the shade Fair 1W. Pretty much spot correct with this, and I go on over my major blemishes. I feel like a good tip for if you're trying to cover up acne or just pimples in general is cover up the major blemishes, but almost leave like those tiny little spots, like leave them undone and untouched, because that makes your skin look a lot more natural versus having like concealer everywhere. So that's what I feel like I do, and it works for me. I got a pimple right there. There's always a bad boy right in between my eyebrows, and it gives me a unibrow, and sometimes it's hard.
How can one stop looking for validation from people on the internet or from anyone? These are good questions.
I'm like, y'all coming through today? For me, I'm like, it's really easy for me. I don't care what you say. Just kidding. My grandpa, I was learning the violin. Okay, I'm pretty much done with my skin now. I'm gonna move on to bronzer. So for bronzer, I've actually been getting a little wild, and I've been using the KKW contour stick. Hold your horses. I don't even have a horse, but I take this and I just apply literally the smallest smidge of a line right there underneath my, actually about like on my cheekbone. I'm just gonna blend this out now. But my little story is this. I was learning the violin back in like the 6th 6th or 7th grade, and my grandpa was actually the one that bought my violin for me because he's super encouraging of all of his grandkids to like go learn and to just branch out. And I remember I was playing it one time, and I think I sounded like really bad, but like I remember I was trying to play for a release, and like I think my brother probably flamed me, and he was like, that sucks, and I was like and my grandpa like spoke up, and he's like, can you do any better? And he was like, no, I don't play the violin. And he's like, well, until you can do better, like, you have no place to give advice. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm like so pumped and rejuvenated again. Don't seek validation from someone you literally wouldn't take advice from. It's actually good to seek validation, like I think from like if you have a healthy relationship with your parents. Like I seek my parents' validation because I know that they like have their genuine interest for me. Seek validation from people that you actually admire and that you care about what they're doing and you want to be where they're at. So it's like if someone is literally trashing on you, or you're trying to seek validation from like school peers, where honestly like why are you trying to seek validation from someone that you don't even want to be where they're at? So it's like try to tune them out, focus on the people you do admire and you do want to be like, and not necessarily seeking validation from them constantly, but just be inspired by them and like seek their counsel and their guidance. And I think that it's healthy to care what others think to the certain extent of like keeping you accountable. Don't let it dictate your everyday actions and like govern everything that you do, because that's gonna become really exhausting super fast. Okay, so now I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury. This is their Foam Star Bronze and Glow palette. I use this probably in every single makeup tutorial. I love it so much. But I'm gonna take the bronzer part, and I like it because it's more of a cool tone bronzer, and I'm just gonna go in and pretty much warm up the sides of my face and my forehead. I've said this before in my makeup tutorials if you've watched them. This isn't even really a tutorial, it's just me showing you guys like what I like to do for my face, because every face is gonna be different and different things are gonna work for you guys. But I don't normally bronze my chin area because I feel like it gets muddy real quick and I'm not very good at it. So I'm gonna work with my strong suits, and that's not one of them, so I just avoid it altogether. The next question one of you guys asked is how to grow your Instagram, and I'm gonna kind of just make it an umbrella question, like how to just grow on social media. Honestly, I don't even know. No, I'm saying that because if I'm being honest, my channel and like my Instagram has definitely plateaued. I feel like for a little while there, or actually throughout all the years of doing YouTube and social media, our goal has always been like growing numbers. And within the last year, I've really switched my mindset. Instead of like how can I grow on Instagram, I'm more like how can I connect with people on Instagram. So I think that's honestly what I've been working on. So I haven't been necessarily focused on numbers. I'm like, how can I connect with the followers that I already have? I really think if you can create your Instagram page or your social media to be this like really cool, unique community, that's when it's like the word's just gonna naturally spread, and you're gonna start dominoing effect and becoming massive and huge. But for example, I have a friend, his name's Alex Blossel. If you're literally in Utah County, you are starving yourself of the best food, and like you need to go eat his food. Anyway, he's a chef. I love seeing his Instagram stories because he has such a unique page where he like goes in depth about his meals that he makes, and like the backstories of all of them, and he's funny, and like he has all these like different attributes that like I don't see commonly on Instagram. And so I love following him, and I know that other people love following him as well. Watching his account like kind of slowly grow in his community, it's because he's not focused on growing numbers, but really just genuinely connecting with people around him. That would say that's my tip. Also, just upload. That's the only way you can go viral or get big, is by actually having content to like get big off of. So just keep on posting. Ouchie, my leg. Okay, I've applied blush. Actually, the blush that I use is the Milani Baked Powder Blush, and this is in Luminoso. But this blush I absolutely love. It almost doubles as a highlighter because it's super shimmery, but I just apply literally everywhere, into my eyes, my eyelids, my cheeks. I'm now moving on to my eyebrows. I literally just barely fill these bad boys in. I keep on saying bad boys. Not everything's bad boys. Sometimes they're good. But I am filling in my eyebrows a little bit, and then I've just been applying boy brow lately. My bad boy brow. I've been applying boy brow lately because it's just super quick, and I feel like that's all I need for now. So not really gonna do much of these. What's the next question?
I feel like I've lost all motivation during the pandemic, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. That's more of a statement, but how would you attack the situation?
I'm like, oh, that sucks. Next. Well, I guess more like ask yourself what usually motivated you before the pandemic, and then try to identify that and then recreate similar settings in your own home that like will help re-inspire you. Does that make sense? Like if before the pandemic, what inspired me was like music, then it's like, okay, maybe you can't go to concerts now, but what you can do is like you can
buy a guitar and start learning a new instrument.
Literally buy a guitar, start learning something new. You can help support small local artists around you. You can try to find like virtual concerts. Like there's ways to find loopholes with the day and age of social media. That's such a blessing that we have, is like there's so much. Try finding people on social media that inspire you and that motivate you, and try following them. Or
I feel like having something to look either forward to or you're working towards, whether it's fitness,
like you're actively
fitness, or maybe you like.
And so yeah, no, just having something that you're actively working towards or you're looking forward to, whether that is like a virtual FaceTime date with your boyfriend, or it's a catching up with your mom on a phone call, or you know, on Friday you're gonna go out to dinner for yourself, and like things that you, just small little things that you can romanticize in your life, and that will help to re-inspire and motivate you each day. Okay, literally it just took like a 30-minute intermission because we lost our battery bag and then we lost Evelyn's keys, but we just found Evelyn's keys. Still lost the battery bag. So we're running on half battery here. I'm gonna try to pump this out, but I finished my eyebrows. I'm now gonna do my eye makeup. So for starters, I always use the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Without a doubt, every time I use this, it makes my eyeshadow stay all day. I'm a big believer of this. I used to not be, but then update on moving out. Actually, Evelyn and I were touring apartments that we were looking at, and we found one that we like really loved, and it seemed perfect. And then we were like, we're gonna think about it for a few days. And then Evelyn went to go call the real estate lady, and she literally would not pick up her phone. And then by the time I actually got a hold of her, she's like, oh yeah, the apartments that you like, those got sold. We were like, sick. So I feel a little bummed about it, but like it's like whatever's supposed to happen will. Plus literally the apartment that we were gonna tour, that we literally went back, it was our third time trying to see it, and like she has a master key, so it unlocks every single apartment. Literally the key would not work on that one apartment that we were trying to look at, and we were like, this is our sign that like this is just not supposed to happen. So we ended up not going and looking at that apartment, and I don't know, maybe something else is in store. We're still open to like buying a house. It's just the housing market is so expensive right now. Also, I'm just taking a little bit of bronzer and blush and mixing it, and then that's what I'm putting on my eyelids.
How to deal with boys that didn't like you back / just being obsessed with boys. How to control that?
When it comes to like, I have had multiple boys not like me back, or I just don't confess my crush, so then they're just dealing with a boy. We have to still see it. Ooh. Now the question is, did you confess your love to them, and that's how you know they don't like you back, or is it just like you can tell they don't like you back? Because that's a big difference. There's I think I've said this in YouTube videos before, but dating is about compatibility, not worth. So if someone doesn't like you back, it's not because you're like worth any less, or it's not because you're not pretty or you're not cool. It's just like it's not compatible. Like it's just not gonna work out that way. For me, I feel like closure is the best thing, and like if I have like a looming crush, like I had the crush on this like same guy for the longest time, and then I asked him out, and then he was like no, and I was like okay, which is like totally fine. But I feel like having that closure of me like taking that step and like asking him out and then getting rejected from that helped me to just be like, okay, like I'm done with that chapter of my life. I'm done with like liking that boy, and then just like moving on into better and new things, because better things are gonna be out there for you. I don't think it's healthy to like trash talk someone and then date a ton of people to like move on, because I feel like that just reflects poorly on your own character, because it's like there still might be a great person, it just didn't work out between you two. And so yeah, just understand your own worth, and understand like if you can really like fall in love with yourself first, it's gonna be easier to either accept or decline people coming in or out of your life. So there's my advice for that. Closure and self-love. Ouchie, this is hurting.
Should I give another chance to the boy who canceled our first date an hour before it had to happen?
Ooh. What was his reason? Did he text like a really good reason? Was it like literally my mom was in the ER, or like I was dying, or I had a COVID? Like what are the reasons? Because if it's something like lame, like oh I totally forgot I spaced this date and like I just don't want to go out, I'd just be like, honestly, if you can't prioritize this, I'd be like, give him one more chance, because I feel like that would be good to just see. And if it's like he doesn't show up again, or if it's just like it sucks, then move on. Do not initiate anything. The guy should, if he is the one that initiated the first date and he canceled, let him initiate the second date. And if he does, accept it, go on the date, stay safe. And then if it's great, okay, maybe give him a chance and move on. I cannot talk. If it sucks, then that's your closure to just move forward and to just forget. Don't forget the experience, but forget him. I'm like, say bye.
And how do you pick the right friends? I'm struggling with that right now.
Whenever you're with someone, evaluate, like literally if you're with someone, take a step back, almost like a third person, and evaluate how you feel right now. And if you feel like you're becoming a better person when you're around this particular friend, or you feel uplifted, you feel fun, you feel like you're your best self. If you feel like you like the version of yourself when you're with them, then I think that's how you know you're with a good friend or a good person. If you feel like you're not acting like yourself, you can't be yourself, or you're just not enjoying your time, it's not worth it. There's literally how many people in this world? 7 billion? There's so many people around us, and with the day and age of social media, you can also meet so many cool people, so it's like, don't waste your time with someone that's not making you feel better.
Someone said, we be confident and ask the guy out by making the first move?
Totally. Literally, why not? Like, I've done that so many times where I'm like, he's kind of cute. Okay, I'm gonna ask him out. Like, I've done that probably too many times. But, actually, no. Like, never regretted asking out a guy because I always leave with an experience of either that was great or I learned something. So,
and
you can't win if you don't play the game. So, it's like, go ask out the guy, just go for it. Like, what do you have to lose? It's gonna be a no if you don't ask the question. That's all I'm gonna say.
Or I feel like if you just envision the worst case scenario and you're like, yeah, I can accept that. Like he says no, like if you're okay with that, then
if you can overcome the fear of rejection.
Or if you can just overcome the worst case scenario, then, or accept
What is your worst case scenario? He literally is like, ew, you're ugly, don't talk to me. And then, like, that's the worst case. Okay, then, like, so what?
You probably didn't want to date him anyways.
Like, there you go. You weeded out the guy that you don't even want to ask out anyways, because if he's rude. But, like, another thing is, too, is, like, literally, what if it turns out better than you expect? Like, you never know until you try. It's as cliche it is. You're never gonna know if you like asparagus until you try asparagus. I really love asparagus. Asparagus with, like, Parmesan cheese and pepper. Using my Better Than Sex and my Rugged Volume Mascara. Say it super fast, it's totally fine. But these mascaras are my go-tos, I feel like. Or the drugstore, the CoverGirl Lash Blast Waterproof. I always use waterproof. These are like my 3 favorite mascaras, so.
Lately, I've been struggling with hating myself and I never feel good enough.
Okay, get to the root of the problem. Why do you feel like you're not good enough? Like, is there someone making you feel that way? Like, do you feel like you're not good enough because of the way you look? Do you feel like you're not good enough because of your personality? Like, for me, honestly, I feel like so much of my self-confidence and my self-esteem, I feel like esteem is like more fleeting, and I feel like confidence is more durable. I feel like most of my self-confidence comes from trying new things, making promises to myself and following through with them, and then just understanding like my place as a daughter of God, and that literally changed my entire perspective. So I think if you can get to the root of why you feel like you're treating yourself this way, I can tell you this, but if you don't believe it for yourself, like, you gotta go experience and figure it out for yourself. But like, I believe that each one of us is literally a divine descendant from God. Like, we're literally his offspring, we're his children, and I think that it's so amazing that we all have place in this world and purpose, and that we were not just here by coincidence or by chance. I think literally coincidence is so stupid. I'm like, do you really just think it just happened like that? Like, it just happened? Like, no. I think that we are all here at the same time existing. Like, you're watching this YouTube video and we've crossed paths because there's stuff that we can learn from each other. And if you can understand your potential and like the amazing things that you're able to accomplish like through our Savior Jesus Christ, like, your worth just like expands infinitely, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I have the potential to become literally whatever my heart desires, like, if I'm doing my best each day. And I think if you can understand that, your confidence is gonna skyrocket. I think there was a quote on Pinterest. It was like, if confidence is found through making small goals and following through with them. Like, if you can prove to yourself that I can accomplish these things, your confidence is just gonna grow over time. So, but like, I'm like, literally, like, you are so cool, and if we could all recognize how uniquely individual and amazing we are in our own way, then it would be easier for us to like love each other and to love ourselves, and just enjoy the vibrations of goodness. So
okay, someone asked, which I think is a good question, what are your sources of income?
As of right now, it's usually Google AdSense, which is my YouTube videos, because the ads that are run on YouTube videos, in YouTube sponsorships. So when I'm like, this video is sponsored, right, it's because I'm getting paid by the company. Instagram sponsorships. I do Depop, and so I sell my old clothes, but all of the income that I get from that, I give to my mom, actually, because she handles all the shipping and handling and like the production of the page. So, and that's just like a way for me to help out, because it literally is so simple for me. I just have to take a picture, and then helps out my mom. It's a little part-time job for her. I'm trying to think what else. I feel like hopefully, I mean, we've done merch before. We're gonna be launching our clothing line, so hopefully that's like another new source of revenue. My sister and I own a home down in St. George, and we use that as an Airbnb, but that is like we make money from that, but it's more of a long-term investment, so it's not necessarily creating like the most revenue right now. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's like a lot, but like those are like our main sources of income. And sometimes I sell pictures of my toes. Okay, I'm now done with my makeup. All in its glow. Actually, I might add a little bit of highlighter. I feel like being a shiny donut today.
I love shiny donuts.
I love shiny donuts. I'm just using the highlighter from my palettes that I was using for my bronzer. You're a liar and you're ugly. Okay, folks, let's get started with it. Okay, literally, I'm gonna show you guys how I style my bangs. This is what they normally, no, in the morning they look like, I can't even recreate what they were this morning. They were sticking straight up. It was like, it's like that in the morning. And so like, I'm hot. I'm like a sexy leprechaun. For my hair, I normally brush it out, and then I'm trying to not use that much heat on it because I'm trying to become a sexy leprechaun that has really long hair. So I usually just put heat on my bangs if I am gonna do it. I brush them out, make sure all the oil and grease is dispersed, and then I take, sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained, and then I'm gonna take my water spray bottle with the literally crustiest water, and then I brush up my bangs. So now they're all wet. Sometimes I'll even spray my brush. Then I'm gonna take my blow dryer. This is the Harry Josh Pro Tools. This one's really nice. Also, these green clips that I have in my hair that pinned back my hair, these were the Harry Josh Pro Tools clips as well. I'm gonna explain this before I start blow drying. I normally blow dry down, and then I do it, scoop it all to one side and then the other side. That way they fall in the middle, and then I just repeat the motions. Okay, so now that it's like literally a mullet, I take my straightening iron, which has been heating up, and then I take my bangs and I curl them towards my face and away, like this. I just literally clip the ends. I curl under and away. Like that. And then I let them sit, and then I take the shag pieces that are around my face and I do the same thing. And then after they've cooled down for a bit, I'm gonna go ahead and brush these out. There we go.
You look like Sleeping Beauty, like when she was like living with the fairies.
That is probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me. That wasn't a flame.
No, I'm being honest.
That's kind of the vibes we
I'll tell no lies.
It doesn't take very long at all. Then I just put on buttloads of jewelry and that distracts from everything. So then there's my secret. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and got some inspo. If you're struggling with acne right now, or if you're just struggling with like self-confidence issues, we all have our days. We all have struggles, and just remember that you're not alone in it. I'm currently struggling with acne, but I am not defined by it. My worth doesn't change. No matter how much you crumple a $20 bill, it's still gonna be a $20 bill. That's literally the lesson they'd always do in Young Women's. They'd like take the $20 bill and they'd be like, how much is this worth? Now. I'm like, now it's hideous. They're like, how much is this $20 bill worth? And we're like, $20. Then they'd like literally step on it, crumple it up, put it in dirt, and they'd be like, how much is this $20 bill worth? And we're like, $20. So we'd all be like in tears, like, oh my gosh. Like your worth doesn't change. Like, can I have it? So, I'm like, yeah. I was like, sorry, if you're done with it, can I not have it? So anyway, that completes today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your participation in submitting questions on my Instagram stories. If I could give each of you guys a participation award, I would. I'd give you a fat blue ribbon. So thank you. If you guys want, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Marla Catherine, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Au revoir.